Before genres were fully established, video games came in plenty of weird shapes and sizes. Most have obviously been replicated or improved upon, but one title that to this day remains inimitable was Taito's 1981 arcade title, Kicks. You have a field of play roughly the size of the screen, and a small kind of diamond thing that you can move around the outside of the grid, along the predetermined lines. The aim is to fill a certain percentage of the screen by drawing tracks across the playfield using this diamond. Trying to stop you doing this is the kicks, a weird energy pulse that bounces around the field in whatever space there remains. You're only vulnerable to the kicks while you're adventuring across the field. If it touches you or any part of the line you're drawing, you die. Get to the other side, and the area you've just drawn will fill in, and you can now use these new edges as tracks to start drawing from. I always imagine that when you're on the edges you've completed a circuit of some kind and are grounded or electrically neutral, but when venturing out there's a build-up of charge that attracts the kicks to you, and the aim is not to annihilate by coming into contact. Indeed, the kicks is kind of attracted to you. It doesn't just bounce around randomly. Hey, that's just the way my brain tries to make sense of this game. Anyway, there are two numbers at the top of the screen. The first is the percentage you need to beat the level, and the second is your current percentage. It's possible to exceed the aim, of course. This garners bigger bonuses, and Kicks is one of those classic arcade-style games where it's all about getting your initials on that high scoreboard. There are plenty of other ways to boost your score too. The bigger shape you try to pull off, the higher your score, although obviously there's a risk-reward consideration to be made. There are two ways to initiate movement as well. Press the A button in a direction and you'll draw a fast line, leaving a lightly shaded box behind. However, press B instead and you'll move much slower, but if you make it, you leave a darker box. These give you massive amounts of points, so take the risk if you're brave enough. Sometimes there are more than one kicks on the screen, and if you can isolate them from each other, you get what's called a split kicks bonus for the following level. There is a bonus time limit, and also, you're not completely safe on the tracks. You're safe from the kicks, yes, but there are also sparks that trundle slowly around that look almost like a fuse burning down. These are death on contact as well. Now, it ain't a pretty game. It never was, but the Game Boy version looks totally Spartan and sounds pretty foul. The kicks themselves are just a series of undulating straight lines in a sort of pulse shape, which can occasionally be hard to interpret. I'm not sure how else it could have been done, but still, it leaves a bit to be desired. It wouldn't be an early Nintendo-published Game Boy game without some interludes featuring various mascots, including Mario wearing a sombrero, playing a guitar to a vulture on a cactus. Kicks is a unique title, and this is a decent version of it. It's a game I would consider proper old school. I know the Game Boy is now over 30 years old. I'm still trying to get my head around that. But Kicks is from a generation long before even that. Younger players might not get the appeal.